What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. Some news in basketball. James Jones, the Suns general manager, has left the Phoenix Suns as of yesterday. He's going to now work for the NBA. He's going to be the executive vice president and the head of basketball operations for the NBA. That role was filled by Joe Dumars the last bunch of years, Hall of Fame shooting guard for the Detroit Pistons. But he just became the president of basketball operations for the New Orleans Pelicans. So James Jones is leaving the Phoenix Suns as their general manager to be that role with the NBA. So kind of an odd little thing there, a little move, but that is what happened. I kind of can't even blame him. That's such a messed up situation in Phoenix. A lot of it is on him. He's the one who made the trade for Kevin Durant and gave all those assets. He gave all the assets to acquire Bradley Beal. So a lot of that's on him. He for like, I'm not gonna sit around to get fired. I'll just go work for the NBA in a pretty substantial role. So he's like, I'll get out of there or get fired. So now he's leaving. Whoever the heck is taking over that role for a really rough situation. Well, speaking of the Phoenix Suns, I'm not sure if this was Jones's last move before he left or if this has nothing to do with him. But Devin Booker received a huge extension, a 2 years, $145 million extension that is $72.5 million a year. He now has 5 years and $360 million left on his contract. He still has 4 years left on his previous deal, and he tack on 2 more. It's a massive deal. It's an NBA record for in terms of annual average value on an extension. It's a crazy contract for the that Booker signed with the Suns. Look, Booker is an incredible player. For his career, he has been in the league for 10 seasons. He's going to be 29 next year. For his career, it's a 24 game. What he averages, he averaged 25 last year. He's a 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. Was on the first team in 2022. 2 seasons ago was on the All-NBA third team. Like I said, he averaged 25 points a game this year. Shot 46% from the field and 33% from three. So a bit of a down year. He's playing out there, outside of Kevin Durant, who missed some games, the ghost of Bradley Beal, and really not a whole lot else. But he's a great player. To me, I would say a top 25 at least player in the league. You could argue he's the second best shooting guard in the league without Anthony Edwards. He's a great player, and so I don't mind them having that be their guy. However, you don't really have many draft picks. The only picks here we have, the 10th pick in this year's draft, you have to trade Kevin Durant just to get. And now you trade away 2029 first from Mark Williams, that I didn't really agree with, and the 29th pick in this year's draft, which the Hornets used Liam McNeely, which wouldn't have been a bad pick for them. So you don't really have any cap space. I know the Kevin Durant trade might help that a little bit. You don't have any draft. You don't still have your own first. I don't think for another like 5 or 6 years. I mean, now maybe a couple of young pieces. You get Jalen Green in that trade in the Kevin Durant trade. You draft Kaman Malak. I think you overpaid for him, but Mark Williams isn't a bad piece to have, I guess. So now you have a couple of pieces, I guess, but still not a whole lot there. Booker still really isn't playing with anybody. Kevin Durant's gone. I'm expecting Bradley Beal to get bought out based on what I'm hearing. They're gonna have to stretch that salary. There's so much money left on this deal. Listen to what Damian Lillard did with the Bucks. He had $113 million left, so they're paying him $22 million a year for the next 5. But Booker got a huge extension. He's a great player, but look at the situation. I'm like, they may have to trade him in a year. Yes, you'll get a ton back. You get back multiple first-round picks, multiple good young players. And yeah, but again, you'll have a atrocious team for a bunch of years, but I don't see how else they can get out of this. But Booker, 2-year extension worth $145 million. Now it's 5 years and $360 million left on his contract. So Saturday night's main event, it's this weekend. We got a bunch of wrestling on this weekend. Saturday night's main event is this Saturday. So far, since they brought it back this past year, the events themselves, it's been a cool visual. It's cool, it's also very old school, and it's been cool to have, kind of a throwback, but the matches, like the storylines and matches themselves, have not been great. It's really just been to kind of push along some storylines. Doesn't make for the best television always. So I don't really have many expectations. I'm just hoping, maybe we get, some returns and just some storylines pushed forward, even if the matches themselves aren't good. We will see what happens. But let's start off with a match that was just added to the card a little while ago. Solo Sikoa's first U.S. title defense will be against, of course, his brother, Jimmy Uso. So I hate when Nick Aldis right up here from one of GMs, they go live on freaking Facebook or Instagram, or TikTok are like, oh, match has been added for tonight. It's like, dude, let this play out on television, okay? They, at least try and build it. At least try and hide the fact that you don't know what you're doing. Okay, come on. But that's gonna be a title defense. Souls Co is winning this match. I don't think it's much of a conversation. I don't mind if Jimmy Uso, at some point get some sort of, maybe a singles title, maybe, Intercontinental or US in that mid card scene. I wouldn't mind. Definitely him and Jay got at some point gotta reunite and be tag champs for one more time. I know at one point, a little before WrestleMania, Jay said he's probably towards the end of his career, but he says he wants to be a heel one more time. So both of them are probably in the last at least few years of their careers. I don't think they both. Jay obviously has had his singles route. I think Jimmy deserves one, depending on much if he wants one or not, truly wants one or not. And then they gotta be probably tag teams one more time. They should probably both be heels one more time too. But anyways, Soul's gonna win this match. I think this is where Jacob Fatu comes back. Of course, they attacked him. What was it last week? So we'll see if he shows up on SmackDown tomorrow. But I could see him not being on SmackDown, as part of the storyline, and he comes back. I'm not sure if he costs. Would make sense for him to cost Solo the match. I would think he would. They'd want that match to be for the U.S. Championship. I could see Solo winning the match afterwards. Him and his goons, his MFTs, go to attack Jimmy Uso, and then Fatu comes out and clears house, and that sets up Solo and Fatu at SummerSlam. But that's probably my prediction. We have the World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther against Goldberg. I don't know what they're doing with this. Gunther's going to win. Goldberg retire match. It's going to be about 4 minutes long. I wonder, could we see a Seth Rollins attempted cash in or something? Because I don't know how you're going to make anyone care about this match. The build's been god awful. Just terrible. I've already talked about it, but Gunther is obviously winning this match in under 5 minutes. And we have Randy Orton against Drew McIntyre. Of course, Drew McIntyre is back. He was out for the last month, taking some time off. His first match against Randy Orton. This should be a very good match. There's also two bangers, two great talents, obviously, in-ring wrestlers. Who's going to win? I'm going to take Randy Orton. He obviously lost to Cody Rhodes in the King of the Ring finals. I'm going to take Randy Orton. McIntyre is just getting back. Yeah, I'm not sure where they're going with this right now. This is one of those wait and see kind of things, but I'll say Randy Orton wins that match. To me, he needs a little more than Drew. And LA Knight against Seth Rollins. This I'm very excited for. I'm not gonna lie, I would not mind if LA Knight won this match. Now that sets up, maybe you have Rollins cash in soon. Maybe you have him cash in on Gunther. Maybe you have the Gunther match after this one. I don't know what the order is yet. And then you have Rollins win the world title, and that sets up LA Knight against Seth Rollins for the world title at SummerSlam. I personally could rock with that. But Seth Rollins is probably going to win. They're clearly, he's obviously getting a push right now. I do believe Roman Reigns is coming back. I really do. I think he's either coming back in this match. Maybe he interferes. Maybe after the match, Braun and Bronson Reed go attack out LA Knight, and then Roman Reigns comes out. Maybe he tries to have us during the Gunther match. He tries to cash in on Gunther, and then Roman foils it. But I do believe Roman Reigns is returning, and I think we will get something with him and Seth Rollins. There's some big storyline with Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. It looks like the plan is he's going to come back to build up whatever he's doing at SummerSlam. He's going to take some time off. Again, after SummerSlam to film the Street Fighter movie, I would think Cody Rhodes is doing the same, considering he's supposedly in the movie as well. And Roman is advertised front and center for Survivor Series. He's going to be doing something on it. So I would imagine he'll come back obviously for the build for that. And then from there, we're a couple of months from the Royal Rumble from there. Uh, so that's the Saturday's main event card. Evolution 2.0. Of course, the first Evolution, the first ever, only first ever women's pay-per-view was in 2018, 7 years ago. They finally got a second part here in 2025. We got the Women's World Championship, Io Sky against Rhea Ripley. I mean, look, these are probably the two best women on the roster, especially with Liv Morgan currently on the shelf. But I don't like that they're doing this boring. I'm hoping Io retains, so we get maybe her and Asuka, and then they kind of teased it at one point at SummerSlam. I like to see something like that. Give me something fresh. So and I love Rhea Ripley. She's one of my favorite wrestlers, male or female. Certainly my favorite female wrestler. Personally, I think she's great. I think she's got a chance to have a really special career. She's already had a really special career, and but I think Io Sky should retain the championship here. Then we have the WWE Women's Championship. Tiffany Stratton is defending against Trish Stratus. Tiffany's, of course, going to be retaining. Trish is obviously one of the all-time greats, or the greatest women's wrestler ever. But she's obviously, I mean, she does some part-time here and there these last bunch of years, but she's obviously, I can't imagine that we give her any sort of extended run if she's not going to be on television every week. So Stratton will retain. You wonder, could Naomi factor into this? I don't know. I really think, if anything, it would happen at SummerSlam with Tiffany fights Jade Cargill, but we will see what happens. We have the NXT Women's Championship match. JC Jane against Jordan Grace for the NXT Women's Championship. This should be a very good match. JC Jane's done a good job so far. Of course, she took the title off of Stephanie Vacker. Jordan Grace is obviously a very, very talented individual. She's been in NXT these last couple of months since coming over full-time from TNA. I wouldn't mind seeing Jordan win this match. In fact, I think she might. I don't watch NXT every single week, but NXT, I mean, it's really meant to be like the developmental brand. A lot of times, you'll have an NXT star will have a reign, and they'll kind of like surprisingly lose the match, and then they'll get promoted to the main roster. Depends what you want to do. I don't think Tracy Jane is coming to the main roster anytime super soon. Jordan would probably be a little closer. I was surprised she didn't go straight to the main roster, to be honest. After coming over from TNA, I thought she was ready. But I'm surprised she is still in NXT. But if they want her to be on the main roster sooner rather than later, I would think they have her lose. If not, I could see her winning. I think you could ask what you do with JCJ. I'm sure that would figure something out, especially with Shawn Michaels over there. He knows what he's doing. But I'll take Jordan Grace in an upset. We have a Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team Championship match. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez are defending it against one team is Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, that newly formed team, if you want to call it a team. We have an NXT team who I'm not really too familiar with, and then the Raw tag team is the Kabuki Warriors, newly reunited, Asuka and Kairi Sane. I'm gonna say Raquel and Roxanne retain. I think it would make sense to set up Liv Morgan's return to where Roxanne takes her place as Raquel's partner. I know Raquel isn't crazy about it right now, but then over time, they become closer and closer and closer and it basically becomes what Raquel and Liv had. And then I know obviously Dom isn't a fan right now. Maybe he comes closer and closer to Roxanne, and eventually they become, like this, like him and Liv were. And when Liv comes back, she can be pissed off and like come back as a baby face, like, oh, you took my tie, you took my May, you took my best friend Raquel, and that would obviously set up a storyline between her and Roxanne Perez and the Judgment Day as a whole. So that's what I think should be the plan. So I'll say Raquel and Roxanne retain. And you have a battle royal. I think it's a 20-woman battle royal. The winner will get a title match at Clash in Paris. So I know Nikki Bella was in it. She might be coming back full time, which is awesome. It's a shame, obviously, her match against Liv Morgan had to be scrapped. But that's something where I think we could see some cool returns. Her, maybe the Iconics, who are currently in TNA. If AJ Lee comes back, I know I sound delusional, but WWE and social media is playing into my delusion. They're making me believe again, like I have the last couple of years at the Royal Rumble. So imagine, but yeah, that happening. No idea who we're going to win. We don't even know who's in it for the most part, but It depends. I would think, a title shot. I think the winner would face the winner of Io and Rhea. If Io is retaining, I could see it being Asuka. If Rhea wins the championship, I could see it being Stephanie Vaquer. So those would probably be my top two contenders, depending on who is the world champion after Evolution. And then we have Jade Cargill against Naomi and No Holds Barred. I'm very excited for this. They've had a great rivalry. I wish they truly wrapped it at WrestleMania, but they didn't. But I do think that Naomi's going to cash in. I can see Jade being Tiffany at SummerSlam, and then Naomi cashing in, and then maybe get Naomi and Jade in a trilogy. So, assuming you want Naomi to get some sort of extended run, I would think you're going to have maybe you have Jade win this match. But so it really depends if we want to go with the story for who I think is going to win this match. But I'll say Jade wins this match. And what I think should be the main event, the triple threat Intercontinental Championship match between Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Lyra Valkyria. I'm interested where they go with this. I don't see how it makes any sense to have Bayley win. To me, she needs to turn heel. This face character on scores. Turn her heel, please. I thought she's kind of teased in this feud. I mean, Becky's one of the greatest of all time. She has a title. I think the title reign's been fine, but Lyra, has made a very, very large impact over the last couple of months. This feud's been great. No, I think it's either gonna be Becky retaining or Lyra winning it back. I'm going to say, because this I would think is going to be the end of all of it. I'll say Becky retains. I'll say Becky retains. I can definitely see a lot of Lyra winning it, but I'll say Becky Lynch retains the championship. That's Evolution. That's the Evolution card. That's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, so long. Have a great day.